assumptions. Stop making assumptions. Stop assuming that things are the way they are. Test it out. You see, when we make assumptions, when we create those stories in our head and we're thinking we're connecting the dots, they may not be accurate. That might just be your perception, your way of seeing things, but it may not be the truth. So when we continue to make assumptions, we're just imagining it how we would like to be, or we want it to be, or it depends on what frame of mind you'll be in to if that assumption will be positive or negative. Many people will tie themselves in knots, thinking that everyone is being calculating, that there's a hidden reason to why that person is behaving the way they are. But that person could be actually telling you straight how they were feeling, what has happened, but you're refusing to believe it because it doesn't fit into your narrative, your assumption of that person. And I think that's what needs to change in the world. Stop assuming, but asking. Test it out. Ask the question. And I guess this is why I really believe in communication. I believe in dialogue. I believe in talking, because then you can ask the question and then get the answer. It might be an answer you don't want, but you've got it. And that's what it needs. And that's what everybody needs. We need that final closure where we can wash away our assumptions because they're not in our head anymore. You know it, it's there, black and white. And people have shown you who they are. So yeah, assumptions, the worst thing that we can do. But also blaming. Stop blaming. Stop blaming the person. There's a reason why people behave. There's a reason why. But what we should always look at is the person's character, the person's continuous behaviors. Because a person never ever does something once. There's markers of people's patterns, people's traits. They're a bit like the crumbs that we leave behind, the trail of crumbs, a bit like Hansel and Gretel. So there's always markers. So when we live our lives with assumption, we refuse to see those markers. We refuse to see those breadcrumbs because we're only in a fixed focus. But when we communicate, when we stop blaming, we see things clearly because the onus and the responsibility lies with us. We're responsible. We're in charge. We're in the driving seat of our life. And that's how I see taking your own personal responsibility and accountability. Now, these concepts can be all associated with blind faith in a God, in an entity that will come and fix you. But it isn't. You have to do it. You have to live this life. You have to. No one else can live it for you. Like nobody else can come and heal you. Nobody else can come and change how you feel. You have to do it. You are the captain of your ship. And you have to steer it through every wave, every storm that comes in your way. But once we realize, once we stop assuming, fantasizing, blaming, and we really see things for what they are, and we live in the real world, we live in the present, you'll see that you got to. It's there. It's all the answers are there. When you create that peace for you to think, when you still the mind, when you allow the mind to wander, you expand it. The mind is a beautiful thing. It's also very dangerous as well. And that's why We need that connection between the mind, body and soul. And all three of them have to work, have to be connected. So yeah, stop assuming. See things for what they are. Look at people's actions. Look at their continuous behavior, because people will show you their patterns. But yeah, I don't blame. I never blamed anybody. No, I don't. I'll blame structures. I'll blame programming. For me, it's the program. It's that. It's what's been entwined, what's in your blood, what's in your generation that's been running. Only we can heal it. Only we can heal it by changing ourselves, by healing ourselves. And the more we argue about the past that we can't change, we're actually not dealing with the present. It's a distraction. Stop distracting yourself. Focus on you for now until you get yourself better, and then automatically your vibration, your energy will spread out, and it will start healing people around you, because you'll just be like this light, this radiating light through your actions, through your words, through your behavior. And yeah, you will. You see, when you shine your light, you will create shadows in others. And that's why people are shitty with you. That's what I've learned. Gosh, I've learned so much, over the last couple of years. I've always loved the mind. I've always learned, so I did the psychology side, so I identified the mind. I've always been a proactive person, but it's the spiritual side. When I got to learn about the spiritual side, when I got to learn about generational trauma, when I got to learn about all of these, how to live healthily, you make the connections. So yeah, it's a proper ramble today, by the way. But invest in yourself. The biggest thing you can do is invest in yourself, and it doesn't cost you money. It just costs you your time and your patience. So give yourself that. Just do it. Invest in yourself. Make that goal. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I did when I was 40. I was turning 40, and I got sick of taking antidepressants. And I thought, no, I've had enough. And it was an intuitive feeling. And I went down this road of understanding your health. And I was so sad news about Michael Mosley. I loved his programs. I loved Embarrassing Bodies too. The human body, the mind and the soul, it fascinates me. And so find it. Find your passion. Find what interests you. Focus on you. Stop living in the clouds. Stop living in old stories. Stop. We can't change it. But what you can change is you. And once you change you, you'll find that everything around you changes. So anyway, have a good day.